Hi, my name is Scott Reynolds. I'm the team leader of the Reynolds team here in Vero Beach. And today I have a special guest, Ryan with Zillow. He's our growth advisor that helps our team, I don't know how you call it, manage all the consumers that are on their website coming through and looking to see properties here in Vero Beach in Indian River County. So welcome. I'm glad you're able to stop by.
Thanks, Scott. Good to be here. Thanks for having me. It's you got a beautiful community out here. Vero Beach is stunning.
So you're in Florida, kind of getting with all your different teams and partners, and maybe a little bit of fun.
Yeah. I don't know about how much fun. Maybe it's always fun. It's always fun visiting. But yeah, so I work with a lot of the teams here across the state of Florida, and I'm kind of doing my rounds, seeing everybody that we work with. Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to make it to our little small beachside town.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be back. It's nice. I gotta actually get to the beach at some point. I don't see it down here, but.
So for people that don't know, what do you do, and like what does your day look like, and teams that you work with, and what is that? Kind of putting you on the spot, but
yeah,
what does that look like?
Yeah. So my role at Zillow is pretty straightforward. I partner with some of the best teams that are on our platform, and we're focused on essentially fulfilling Zillow's mission, right? Mm-hmm. Helping unlock life's next chapter, right. For the 220 million people that are on our apps every day. So what that looks like is working with agents and brokers and team leads to leverage like our data and the information that we have. To understand, the consumer better,
right,
and ultimately deliver on the expectations, that the people shopping on our website and our apps are looking for.
It's amazing that we've been working together for a while, but the consumers that when a buyer's that has reached in and is looking to see a property, that handoff process between Zillow and our team has been really nice. So they're wanting to see the property right away, or wanting an HOA information, or here very quickly. So it's not in the industry we call it where they're looking to make decisions, bottom of the funnel. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, a lot of people regard obviously calls coming through Zillow as very high intent,
right?
And it's funny, the reason why is really actually quite straightforward. Our platform is built for people to dream and shop,
right,
and look at homes, well before they're even ready to really buy a house, right? And so, that patience that's built into our platform, we're really focused on overjoying the customers that are just, looking at homes, swiping left,
right,
swiping right. And these folks, they take their phones everywhere with them. They show their spouse, they show their friends. It's the first thing they look up when they wake up in the morning. And the average buyer is on our platform for 2 months before they push the little button to talk to an agent. So, our data and all the experience we have now helping these folks come into the funnel, shows that that's really important, that patience, right? If you start calling them too early when they're in the beginning of their search, it's almost off-putting, right? So we'd rather let us know when they're ready, and that makes them more high intent. So when they connect with an agent, they're a lot more boots laced, so to speak.
They've already went through a bunch of different neighborhoods, or even different cities and lifestyles, and giving them that opportunity of doing that before they feel when they raise their hand, then we're all there to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they raise their hand, it's interesting, right? Probably one of the biggest parts of what I do when working with teams is, explaining the consumer journey for these buyers to agents, so that they realize that when that call comes through, that patience, that 2 months that they've been waiting, usually, almost all the time, 70-80% of the time, those buyers want to go and physically see a house.
Right.
They've done the couch surfing. They've seen every photo of every house in that market.
Right.
Maybe several markets, and they're starting to whittle down.
And
they've looked at everything.
Right.
They've looked at the school districts. They've looked at the restaurant commute times. Like they've seen it all.
Right.
And they're really now ready to go and put their feet in one of these homes. Mm-hmm. And experience what that's like. A lot of these folks are going to be, first-time home buyers. A lot of these folks are millennials. Not in every community. Mm-hmm. Obviously, where we are here in Vero Beach is, probably a more experienced buyer, right? Yeah. But generally, they're leveraging their phone to do their home search, which is a unique thing. And they're ready to now come out of the digital world into the real world, and that's where we make the introduction to a real estate agent. So making sure that the agent is there ready to help that person make that transition and understand, the difference between surfing on homes at home and actually going and starting to look at homes is really, really important.
Because their journey may be a little slow, at first, but then when they're at that hand raising point, they're actually really ready to go.
Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of agents, wonder is, are these customers really ready to buy a home tomorrow? And we get asked sometimes, like, how come we don't do a little bit more to, essentially like ask the customer questions, qualify, that they're ready to buy a house. Right. And the truth is, we've tested all these different, scenarios, right? But the truth is that the best time to meet the customer, statistically, is when they are now ready. They have intent to see a house, but they are at the beginning of the journey.
The real transactional journey.
Yeah, the transactional journey, right? Yeah. So yes, there's a high percentage of these folks that aren't necessarily financially, qualified necessarily.
All the I's dotted, T's crossed.
They're not there. They're not there. But we know that this is actually the best time for them to build a relationship with a trusted advisor, who can then point them in the right direction to take those steps. Right. And on the agent side, that's a really good time to meet the customer because they don't have that trusted relationship just yet, And then on the customer side, they have a lot of options. One of the double-edged sword of shopping online without an agent is you don't know everything about real estate, right? You're an average buyer consumer. You need help. But Zillow is really focused on empowering you with as much information so that you feel you can get started in the process. Right. And then that push of a button is really you, like you said, putting your hand up saying, okay, I'm ready for a little bit more help, right? So it's a really exciting thing that we do in these partnerships where we work with a team that helps so many of those customers make that transition from the digital to the real world.
Now you guys just partner with any agent?
Oh yeah, anybody. No. No, I mean, so we're, obviously we've got about, I think somewhere between 80 and 90,000 advertisers on our platform.
Right.
Across the country. And within that, we have a subset of partnerships, like what we have with you, where we've identified teams, for, essentially standing up and focusing on a world-class customer experience. Right. Customers don't unlock life's next journey if they don't, push the button, talk to an agent who, opens the door with a warm welcome, brings them on inside, and builds a relationship with them to be a trusted advisor. If that doesn't happen, they don't eventually go see homes, see more homes, write an offer, and then buy a house. So, we identify teams that are better at building those relationships, and then we work closely with them to refine that process.
Above it.
Yep.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's all about positive and successful agent buyer outcomes. That's really the mandate of what we do in this role.
I remember when you guys reached out to our team, I had actually had to go through 2 interviews and kind of show how our team's structured, and I was happy to share it because we're structured pretty well. But it was the first time I ever been interviewed by a vendor of that way, and it was I actually appreciated it because then it was all. I now know why, because you wanted to make sure that, or my interpretation was that we had the resources and the systems in place to manage the business that you guys were going to, be partnering with us on.
Buying and selling real estate is tough. When surveyed, customers are still saying that this is the, hardest thing for them to do. It's also the largest purchase of most people's lives, right? And again, in this, in this market, I know there's a lot of second homes, a lot of vacation homes. So again, take all this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but buying is not a fun thing. Selling is not a fun thing. And when people come to Zillow is the most trusted brand in real estate. And they have all these expectations, right, from using their phones to do other things, right? Buyers want it to be fast. It needs to be high quality. It needs
Amazon,
yeah. Amazon delivers boxes to all the world's goodies, with a click of a button. Uber takes us from here to over there, seamless transaction. Google, the world's information at a swipe of a thumb.
Right.
And when they move over to Zillow, right, those expectations of that kind of the one-to-one, the center of the universe, right? You might have seen some of our commercials recently, with Beth, the buyer, as we call her, and she's like me. It's because that's what it is. They're there, and this is a really difficult thing, and it's meant to be just for them. Well, the difference between all of those other platforms and Zillow is that when they make that they take action, there's another human being involved in that process. It's the real estate agent. And the agents that the customer, the best outcomes come from the agents that understand what this customer needs at that particular time. Moving's really hard, and I think compassion and empathy for what the customer's trying to accomplish are two really good traits for agents to focus on.
In the second home space and the luxury space, it's complicated too, because those buyers they're somewhere else usually. They're in New York or Connecticut or down south, and they're finally getting to do exactly what they wanted to do, and this is like literally their dream.
Yeah.
And so it's all, whether it's a first time home buyer or a second home buyer. It's very important to them, and they have a lot of things going on and not a lot of time. And so being resourceful, being helpful, being responsive, and also getting them the things that maybe they don't even think of. Especially here, we're very lifestyle. There's about 4 or 5 different lifestyles. There's the golfers, the water, the ocean, the river, the intercoastal, the gated communities.
All mingled into one.
Yeah, and so it's not necessarily. I mean, obviously the oceanfront estates, is priced. But you can be in any one of those lifestyles in a lot of similar price ranges, and so it just. And a lot of times they don't know the lifestyle that they want. Yeah. They don't come and say, I'm always looking for this particular lifestyle. You kind of have to show them some of the different lifestyles. And they're like, that's what I'm talking about. I can really see myself doing that.
Yeah. And so if you're a buyer that doesn't already have a relationship with an agent, and you're on our platform and you push the button and you start talking with an agent, understanding the nuances of that would be something that's really important about buying here, right, in this community. Right. And being able to convey that and, like I said, build that trust with the customer. That'll be the best bet of helping them, buy a home here. Being able to speak to those different lifestyles, because they are sitting there, the next state over or up in New York or wherever it is they're moving from, thinking about their dream, second home or maybe a final home down here. Right. And they're wondering where do I do this? Right. So. How do you guys actually, accomplish helping them filter through the different lifestyles?
A lot of times it's always easier to go in a specific example. If they're looking for a condo or a home, understanding the dynamics there and what, I like asking a lot of times, have you ever been here? And that usually will open up. Like my sisters lived there for years. We always come down. I'm like, oh my gosh, where does your sister live? Yeah. And then I'll kind of start reverse engineering it. That's the lifestyle that you're enjoying. Do you like doing that? And then give them some viable options depending on how the conversation goes. But quite frankly, you have to kind of show them some of them or describe some of them or describe the differences of them. So like our area, we don't have like a bad, everything's like, it just all depends on the lifestyle that people want. So, for 500,000, you could be in a condo on the barrier island with not a big development, or you could be in a golf course community on our mainland, and very different.
Super different.
Kind of like we were just talking about just a few minutes ago. Thinking about downtown Miami versus Miami Beach, entirely two different lifestyles.
Completely, yeah.
Two different vibes, very.
Food, vibes, walkability, access to park, right? You don't really have parks in downtown Miami as much as you have, over in South Beach. Yeah, very, very different.
So like when a consumer wants like their walkability and like that, we have like an area in Central Beach of our beach side. And it's very walkable. All the restaurants are there, or a lot of the restaurants are there, parks, and so it's our urban side of our beachside town.
This is where you look if you're looking at
We
we like to walk places. Yeah, I'm sure you guys also probably have the golf cart lifestyle here too, right?
Yeah.
Is that
you can street legal. You can get them street legal and drive them to the restaurants and everything. Some people probably go down the sidewalks and they're really not supposed to, but you can like. There's a whole my sister-in-law just her and Jason just street legaled one of theirs, and they live in Central Beach and they are able to drive it all over the place. So
in a market like this where it's like, again, sometimes these are second homes, vacation homes, retirement homes, do you find that the buyers that you're speaking to have a lot of urgency in their home searches, or are they a little bit more relaxed because of the kind of home that they're buying?
So it comes with times. It seemed like everybody was urgent, in the, I'm already calling it the old market.
This was 2 months ago.
But no, our demographic a lot of times, I would say 60-70% of the time are planners. They're planning on coming down during the season, or they came here during the season and they want to do something. They got to go back home and then come back because there is some logistical things. They're not necessarily worrying about starting a new job and things like that, but they just have a different set of things that they work around. So a lot of times we'll have a relationship with someone as little as 90 days to 2 years. To 3 years,
It's a long cycle.
It's a long, and so the communication's important, and having the systems in place to do that in the way that they want to be communicated with. Excuse me. So that's how ours is maybe a little bit unique. Whereas Tampa or Orlando, they may be getting a job transfer. And they know they're starting June 1st.
They got to go.
And they got 60 days or whatever. But so it's a little bit, we do get some job transfers, but it's not like a big urban area.
The reason why I asked about urgency was I was working with a team up in Connecticut. And wonderful lady. I won't name who it is. And but she has a smaller team. And in a very short period of time, she had helped customers. She had helped 3 customers put deals under contract in literally 7 days after starting with our program. And that's pretty good. It's
really good.
Very, very good. Very fast. Very, very lots of success. Now, from the agent side, it's like great. They're selling homes. But from the customer side, I'm thinking like, wow, like we were able to meet 3 customers inside of 7 days and help them find the house, write a contract, and get it get it accepted essentially, which is very, very, very fast.
Oh yeah, we Michelle Moss on our team just 2 days ago got a call from Zillow and met the customer. Call was on Thursday. They drove down Saturday. It's under contract and the inspection was yesterday.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. Yeah, it can move really fast.
Yeah.